it's been going so high that it stops you from traveling.
Canada's Competition Bureau recommending for it to be easier for foreign ownership of airlines in a bid to make air travel cheaper. The Bureau coming out with 10 recommendations that include creating a new class of airlines that operate domestic-only flights in Canada but are 100% foreign-owned, and working with other countries to phase out competition restrictions to allow for practices like cabotage, which sees foreign-based airlines allowed to also operate domestic routes.
The opportunity for somebody to come in and create a marketplace that is better with competition, I think that'll do a lot for pricing.
For $100 difference, I would prefer giving my money to a Canadian airline than wherever else.
According to the report from the Competition Bureau, Air Canada and WestJet can account for up to 78% of all domestic passenger traffic at major airports in the country. The Bureau says when an additional airline is added to a route, fares can go down on average by 9%.
I think it's awesome. Anything to make air travel cheaper. I've just flown from Europe, and flying between countries there's all kinds of airlines that are reduced and it's much cheaper to fly.
The association that represents the Canadian airline industry says while the report from the Bureau actually acknowledges some of the challenges they face, the problem is not a lack of foreign players operating in Canada, but rather cumbersome regulations, high airport fees, and a need for better airport infrastructure.
American carriers, when they submitted their comments to the Bureau, came out against Canadian cabotage because they said that for American carriers, it is simply not viable to fly within Canada, given some of those fundamental challenges we face.
But some passenger rights advocates say airport fees are being used as a scapegoat.
While there may be a point in reviewing how airports are being funded and governed and how the funding system could perhaps be improved, that attempt to misrepresent the government's policies as profiting from Canadians' travel, that's completely inadequate.
In a statement to City News, the federal government says they welcome the report and are reviewing the recommendations. In Calgary, Djan, City News.